does it mean to be unstoppable?
Charging straight into the action there.
Unstoppable is a celebration of character.
This is the definition of Iron Man as they go up and around.
When all is against you, you keep going.
They find something deep inside of.
When being knocked down is just the moment before you get back up.
That is unbelievable.
When others say you can't, but you know you can. Never give up.
She salutes the crowd and grabs the tape, and what a win it was.
Witness the unstoppable, the Nutri-Grain Iron Man and Iron Woman series.
Hello and welcome to magnificent Kingscliff Beach here in northern New South Wales for round 2 of the Nutri-Grain Iron Man and Iron Woman series. I say welcome back for those of you that didn't tune in yesterday. We had an incredible day of racing here on the beach and we're back for round number 2 and it's called the Super Sprint. Joining me is Josh Minogue, former Coolangatta Gold champion. Josh, what are these athletes going to have to factor in today? 24 hours recovery after the enduro surf format yesterday.
Yeah, after a 40-minute torture test yesterday, it's all about mental and physical recovery. They've got to do the swims, they've got to get into the ice baths to recover physically. And then on the mental side, can you turn it around if you've had a bad result, or can you handle the pressure if you had a great day on day one? It's going to be very interesting to see who stands up.
Well, it's a 6-round series here, based all in New South Wales due to COVID. Josh, take us through what the rest of summer's got in store for us.
Yeah, we do the Super Sprint today. That's 3 fit and fast races for the guys. Into tomorrow, we'll go into survival. We'll come back in a fortnight's time for the enduro surf, the specialist, and we'll wrap the entire series up with survival on the end. We take a look at the women's results from round 1 yesterday, and it's Lana Rogers on top with a maximum 20 points. Lizzie Wellborn and Emma Woods are sitting hot on her heels, and what a result that was for Emma Woods in only her second ever race in the Nutri-Grain Iron Woman series. She finishes on the podium. It was super impressive. On the men's side of things, Ali Day dominated in his return to the top level of Ironman racing there, and then after him it's Generation Next. Borg, Timperley, Collins and Morris all hot on his heels and keen to prove themselves at the top level. But the big story from yesterday was the men outside the top 10. Bevel, Aqua, Poole and Linden, some of the big hitters in the sport, they'll look to turn it around.
Well, it was a great day's racing yesterday, but there'll be one athlete looking for a much improved performance. That's our Nutri-Grain series runner-up from last year, Northcliffe's Georgia Miller.
When I was younger, I was always so driven and determined to be the best. I was never one to sit still and be complacent. I always was looking for that next challenge. We put in so many hours of training and we sacrifice a lot of little things that are hard to give up, but there's just that drive to be the best. I've had plenty of failures throughout my career, and I've definitely learnt more from my failures than I have from my wins. So I believe you have to have those failures in order to progress and be unstoppable.
Well, she had a shocker by her own standards yesterday, Georgia Miller, but she'll be back bigger and better than ever today. You can count on that. And as always, the surf, the weather conditions will have a big impact on what's happening out there with the racing. Let's get down onto the sand for the all-important weather report and welcome former series champion Jordan Mercer.
With today's conditions, it is all about the wind. We already have 40 to 50 kilometre winds coming from the northerly direction, which for the athletes means today they're racing in and out of this break, having a relentless breeze and chop crossing their shoulder. Tide is high. In terms of surf, 1 to 2 foot. There's nowhere to hide for the athletes today. This breeze is going to wreak some havoc, and I think those that turn those cans and try and use it to their advantage could make some magic happen. I think with this shore break lapping against this transition chute, we could have some sprint finishes on our hands, something I'm very excited to see.
Well, some challenging conditions out there today for all of these athletes, Josh. And as much as yesterday was all about endurance, today is all about speed.
Yeah, we call it Super Sprint. It's 3 races today. They're going to be short, fast, and guarantee that they'll be tight. The first 2 races you earn points, and that will determine the order you leave in the final. The final's handicapped by 2 seconds between competitors. The more points means the smaller deficit to the leader. And race 3, first across the line, will be crowned round 2 champion.
Well, Josh, one athlete that doesn't need to change anything from yesterday. She was absolutely dominant, made a massive statement for the rest of summer. She's down on the sand right now. Her name is Lana Rogers, and she is with Jordan Mercer.
Lana, how does it feel to be leading the point score now in round 2?
Yeah, it's really good. It's a good feeling, but it's a new day, new format. Jobs are not over yet. We've still got 5 more rounds.
Speaking about recovery, what took place for you? It's only been 24 hours since the last race.
Yeah, so like I said, I've been training for that 3-day format, and I do ice baths as much as possible throughout training. So I had one last night and a magnesium bath. So I'm feeling okay, feeling pretty good. Like I said, though, jobs are not over. I've still got 5 rounds to go.
Today, very different conditions. It's howling out there. What are you thinking when you're looking out to the ocean?
Yeah, there's a lot of runners. Turning the cans will be a bit tricky, but yeah, it's exciting racing, and we're mixing up the conditions, so that's always exciting for Nutri-Grain.
Can't wait to see the action.
Thank you.
Well, she was absolutely unbelievable yesterday, Josh. Is there anyone in this field that can catch her here today?
You'd have to think she's the unbackable favourite as we take a look at the start list, but there'll be plenty of girls trying to knock her off the top spot. We remember the girls 2 through 10, they'll be wearing green today. From Naomi Scott down at 11, they'll be wearing pink as the trial qualifiers, and Outram and Massey down at the bottom of the page. They're our wild cards in orange. It is a star-studded field, and they're all trying to knock off Lana Rogers.
Well, it's the Super Sprint here today. We'll be back with 3 short, fast races right after this. Welcome back. We are just moments away from the start. Round number 2, it's the Super Sprint. The Nutri-Grain Ironman and Ironwoman, Josh Minot, Kingscliff Beach, sparkling today. They're at the line, the excitement goes up. We're in the water very soon.
Have a look at that. They're all lined up and ready to go. A lot of excitement, but a lot of nerves from these girls. They got into the fray yesterday. They experienced the Nutri-Grain Ironwoman series for what it was, and some of them are licking their wounds, some of them are riding high, but we're about to find out who is the queen of the Super Sprint. Race 1, ski, board, swim is the order. Carla Papak there will be looking for a big performance after finishing 18th yesterday alongside Naomi Scott. Races 1 and 2, you collect points. Race 3, it's a handicap start. The more points you have, the higher up the order you start, and it's all about who's first across the line in race 3. They'll be crowned our round 2 champion, and the big question on anyone's lips is who can catch Lana Rogers. She was so dominant yesterday. Can she do the same thing here today? She won this round last year as well, so it's something she's familiar with. It's something she's keen to do, and the girls are on the line set to go. And Tawley, a little shore break in there that might cause a little bit of havoc on the girls. They're off and away, round number 2.
Yeah, changing conditions, Josh. As we saw earlier on in the weather report, that breeze is up. Look at the flags getting buffeted out on the skis. Start absolutely critical now.
Very important. Right in the centre of your screen, Hannah Scully got away really well, but just got clipped. But on the outside, Harriet Brown and Danielle McKenzie, they're the ones on the yellow and the pink. They've got off to the best possible start. But just on the inside there, you can see it's just smashed. Maybe, I think that was Hannah Scully who was leading early on and has got smacked by 2 or 3 shore break waves, gone all the way to the back of the field, and it is Harriet Brown and Lana Rogers leading out in 1 and 2. Brown on the yellow, Rogers on that grey ski, and you can see the waves aren't big, but they're just pushing through consistently, causing them to go up and down over it, and they can't get into a rhythm. And it's some of the big guns who've really come out at the moment, and they're causing a stir. Danielle McKenzie closest to us, Georgia Miller alongside her, Harriet Brown, Lana Rogers, and then it looks like maybe Carla Papak on the outside, who's had an absolutely stellar ski start. The girls in the green, the ones, probably the more experienced girls who qualified through last year, have had the better of the conditions so far. They're getting into the action, and it's the big guns. McKenzie, Gemma Smith up on the inside on the pink as well. Georgia Miller, Harriet Brown, Lana Rogers, they're our big 5.
D-Mac out the front, no surprise there. Very, very talented ski paddler. The brilliant blues and the greens of the ocean, Josh, but we've also got orange, pink, green and yellow across these athletes as well today.
Yeah, the girls in yellow, that's Lana Rogers there. She's our defending series champion. Green is the girls who qualified from last summer, the top 10. Pink, they had to go through the trial. They did it the hard way. And orange, like Tiani Massey on the screen in front of us there, they're the wild cards. And didn't Tiani Massey cause a stir yesterday? She led the opening leg. She finished 5th. It was unbelievable from the young gun from Maroochydore. She's just 19 years of age, into her first full-time series and already mixing it with a big gun. She's a star of the future. The girls have turned for home, and the leaders, they're going to get the best of these runs. Danielle McKenzie's going to try and push down this one in the centre of your screen. She holds on. She goes over the top and just doesn't get down there. And, well, the rest of the girls will come up and join her. On the left-hand side, it's Georgia Miller, and on the right-hand side, it's the potential Olympic kayaker there, or the hopeful Olympic kayaker, Gemma Smith, who had a great day yesterday. Lana Rogers on the wave behind that'll come up and join, and Harriet Brown in the centre, and so's Lizzie Wellborn on the wave behind. So really the big guns. 6 on this wave, maybe Carla Papak on the outside there. She's pushing her way into this one. So Georgia Miller on the left, looking to turn things around from yesterday. An 8th place finish. That's her worst result in 3 seasons. By anyone else's standards, it's fantastic, but she's set such a high bar for herself at this point. She knows she belongs at the top end, and she already looks better than she did yesterday.
Such a competitive person. Miller will be back with a force today. You can count on that, Josh. Up the Travelator, that little hill, just for a bit of extra intensity, and there's Miller right there at the front of the pack.
Mackenzie, Rogers, Harriet Brown, Gemma Smith, Carla Papak, Lizzie Wellborn was second yesterday. Tiani Massey, she goes around as well. Charging through, Brielle Cooper's already had a better race. She finished 18th there yesterday. Taylor Halliday, Electra Outram in the orange. Courtney Hancock is a long, long way down. And Jade Hardstaff, she gets through in 17th place. Maddie Spencer, a long way down in 18th. And our leaders, they're out through the break. And you can see the urgency in these girls already. They know they need points early on. The more points you get, the further up the top of the final race you will start. And for every person, it's a 2-second gap back to the next person. If you win both races, you got 40 points, you go, and then you've got a 2-second gap off second. So they know every race counts, every place counts.
And the big difference, Josh, as we've mentioned in these conditions today, and you can see it across the shots as the boards line out, the wind and the swell has significantly picked up. So we saw the runners on the ski on the way in, and as these boards are heading out, really challenging conditions to get out nice and clean, and then to get those runners, make the most of it on the way home.
Yeah, it's perfect on the craft. You turn, you get the runners, you push all the way home on those, and you can run most of these back into that wave zone and get a little push. The big issue is going to come in the next leg on the swim. You are going to get no assistance. The water's pushing you towards the beach, but there'll be no waves for these girls in the final legs, and you can see how tight racing is already. Just, well, mere fractions of a second separating the top 10 as they go through. Emma Woods, after a third yesterday, is sitting inside the top 10 again and doing a fantastic job as Georgia Miller turns that can and really starts to work for home. Behind her, Lana Rogers sits right on her tail. So does Harriet Brown. They're all working very, very hard. Danielle McKenzie there on the outside. She's pushed up into third. And, well, Georgia Miller will be comfortable. Swim's her favourite leg. So's Lana Rogers. But the likes of Danny McKenzie, they know they've got to do some work to get out in front and make sure that they can latch on as Georgia Miller and Lana Rogers go to work in this swim in the final leg.
McKenzie with a top 10 finish yesterday. So, again, they can really set up their summer here with Rogers with that performance yesterday. But still points in the bank across the 6 rounds of the series. So again, a really important place to keep those points coming for the rest of the series for these athletes.
And there's a wave on here. Harriet Brown's picked it up from 4th place. Danielle McKenzie's picked it up as well. Georgia Miller will have to be careful it doesn't go underneath her. No, good skills. And of course, Lana Rogers on the top. But Danny McKenzie's missed it. Georgia Miller's fallen off. Lana Rogers has held it the longest. And that's what she did yesterday. At the key moments, Lana Rogers was perfect. And that was a key moment in this first race. And she did the right thing. She kept her chest down, she kept the rating up, she kept the board speed up, and she rolled through that deep section better than the other 3 girls. Sometimes you can't help it, it's just Mother Nature. She did the right thing there and she got a reward. She'll go into transition, race 1, the final leg in front, and we can see how tough it is for these girls to go up through that soft sand. Some stumble and bumble in there for Danielle McKenzie in 2nd place, and she doesn't look comfortable going into her weakest leg, the swim. Georgia Miller and Harriet Brown look very, very happy, that is for sure. Lizzie Wellborn's worked hard in that board. She's moved up into 5th place there. Carla Papak, Gemma Smith goes through. Then Emma Woods has had a great paddle there as well. Electra Outram, she's worked her way through. Brielle Cooper, Tiani Massey, Hannah Scully looks very tight, but she's worked her way on through from the back of the pack after being hit early. Courtney Hancock, Taylor Halliday, and Emily Doyle. Watch for 12 and 13. They're the big movers in this one. Maddie Spencer through there. Jade Hardstaff starting to work her way through. Naomi Scott, her hurting just a little bit. She'll be a big mover in the swim as well. It's a long, long way down. Olivia Corrin and Maddie Dunn are 19th and 20, and Maddie Dunn's a top 10 contender. Maddie Dunn spent time on the podium here, and she is in last place of race 1. I don't think she's recovered from yesterday.
And the leaderboard there we can see with the times. Rogers leading it out. D-Mac just under 3 seconds behind, and then through to the rest of the field. But they've lined it out here in the swim, Josh, and we can see the difference in that northerly. It is a big northerly buster coming in, which has caused the increase in the swell, along with all this chop and condition. How is this going to challenge them in the swim? It looks like a real washing machine in there right now.
For normal people, you're trying to swim in these conditions, it's impossible to get a rhythm. It's impossible to see where you're going. But these guys, they're professionals. You'll watch Georgia Miller at the front. She'll have a look when she gets to the top of these swells. That's when she'll look for the wave. She keeps her stroke a little bit shorter, because if you try and lengthen out, you're just going to get pushed back. So the rating goes up. Shorten the stroke. Make sure you sight when you go over the top of a wave. Don't look up with a wave in front of you, because you won't see the can. And these guys will go straight there. I have no doubt about it at all. It looks like Rogers is still on the front here. Along behind her is Danielle McKenzie. Georgia Miller's working her way up alongside Harriet Brown, but we look very, very tired at this point. And these girls, they'll have expended a lot of energy in race 1, but they know that every place counts and every point is so important to put them in the best possible position. Imagine giving Lana Rogers a 2-second lead going into any race. You don't want to do that, because she will be unstoppable. We said it yesterday. You give her an inch, she takes a mile.
And as we touched in on at the start of the show, Josh, the recovery process, enduro surf yesterday, a grueling event into super sprint. What are some of the things these athletes would have really focused on last night to get ready for today?
You saw every single one of them go to do an ice bath as soon as they'd finished. They had the warm down. A lot of them would have gone to the swimming pool, done maybe a kilometre, 1.5K worth of some light swimming with a little bit of sort of faster work to blow the cobwebs out and make sure you get the blood pumping. The worst thing you can do is sit down, don't do anything at all. You've got to do active recovery, and all these girls, and especially the ones that look good today, they would have done all the right things in the last 24 hours. But like we said in the opener, the more important thing is, how do you recover mentally? When Lana Rogers destroys the field yesterday, it's about figuring out whether you can go with her and making sure you get your head right before you put on the line for race number 2.
And that is the big question for some of the biggest names in the sport, and these young guns coming through as they bunch up now, Josh. They're heading back towards the beach here in this swim leg. A lead pack of 3 there.
Yeah, Lana Rogers in the yellow, looking very, very strong. Georgia Miller, Danielle McKenzie there. It looks like maybe Harriet's just drifting off the back ever so slightly. No, sorry, Harriet's there. It's Danielle McKenzie who's drifted off the back. Harriet's there, so's Georgia Miller, and Danny seems to be gone, and I think Lizzie Wellborn might have even swum past her as well. So McKenzie might have used a little bit too much early on, and she's blown herself out here in the swim, and there's no hiding in the surf race. It's Harriet Brown on the far side there. It's Georgia Miller in the middle, and Lana Rogers stands up, pushes down just a little wave there, and that might be enough. The little wave has opened a little gap, and well, that 1 point will be 2 seconds later on, and you don't want that at all. Georgia Miller knows she can't get her in this short sprint, so 1 point equals 2 seconds in race 3, and Harriet Brown makes her way up as well, so a big strong swim from these girls. The girl from Alexandra Headland on the Sunshine Coast crosses the line first. She won yesterday. She's been undefeated so far. Georgia Miller from Northcliffe, Harriet Brown from Northcliffe as well. Lizzie Wellborn goes around just ahead of Danielle McKenzie. Big swim from Emma Woods. Emma Woods is on fire at the moment. You'll see her come up and around, but these 5 or 6 girls, they look very, very good. Tiani Massey crosses the line as well. That was an incredibly tough race number 1.
But I tell you what, they'll be very happy there. Miller and Brown as well. A slightly tough day yesterday. Great response. We spoke about that, how competitive Georgia Miller is, our series runner-up from last year. Didn't have the best day yesterday. She'll feel really happy with that turnaround.
Yeah, very impressive there. Miller, Brown, Wellborn, McKenzie, Woods, Massey, Papak, Hancock, and Taylor Halliday sneaks inside the top 10. Maddie Spencer, a long, long way down with Jade Hardstaff. The time doesn't matter. It's just points. So you can get yourself back into it, and every point counts for these girls. It's going to be very, very difficult for some of these girls who are getting 17th and 18th to fight back. And Jordan Mercer's down on the beach, and she's there with our race 1 winner.
Lana, you set yourself up in that opening ski leg.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get the points for the final round. Keep it consistent. Like I said before, job's not done.
Are we taking it easy? Are we pacing ourselves in race 2?
Trying to get a good start and, again, keep it consistent, conserve lots of energy. Yeah, I'm rolling through, so here we go.
Good luck, Lana.
Jordan Mercer there, former series champion, down on the sand, got one of the best seats in the house, and it's great to have her right on the finish line. We're going to take a very short break. We'll be back right after this. Nutri-Grain IronWoman, round 2, race 2, and the updates so far. Lana Rogers, Georgia Miller, Harriet Brown in race number 1, Josh Boyer on the line. There's the rest of the field. It was tough, it was tight.
Once again, Emma Woods, fantastic with a 6th place finish there. Tiani Massey as well. So the young guns, they're coming through and they're nipping at the heels at some of the top in the game. Brielle Cooper over the page, better than yesterday, but she'll look to improve there. Emily Doyle, Naomi Scott, Maddie Spencer, a long, long way down. And Maddie Dunn down in 19th place. So we're talking about a girl here in Maddie Dunn in the green who's won races before, and she is all the way at the bottom end at the moment. She will be looking to turn that around, that's for sure, in this one, and finish well somewhere at the top end, get her season up and rolling, that's for sure. But it will be interesting with the calibre of this field and the way the format is going at the moment. It's all about getting out hard in that opening leg. You set yourself up in the opening leg. The top 6 girls after that opening ski leg were the top 6 girls at the end. You can work your way back into it, but you can never win a race, and this start will be so important. Girls off and away, board swim ski, race number 2. And this one, once again, for points. A couple of the girls put the boards down early. Lana Rogers held on just a little bit longer, stayed on the feet, got herself through, and once again, Lana Rogers, Georgia Miller, the bottom right-hand side of your screen, they are 1 and 2. These two are going ding-dong battle. We saw Georgia Miller at the opening of the show talk about how important it was to her what she wants. She has come back fired up today after an 8th place yesterday, and she is really putting it in here. But Lizzie Wellborn on the yellow, she is absolutely flying. Danielle McKenzie on the grey and yellow alongside her. Georgia Miller in the pink, Lana Rogers on the pink there as well, and then the rest of the field doing their best to hang on. But it is all the girls in green and yellow out in front at the moment, and well, just like race 1, it's Miller, Rogers, McKenzie, Wellborn and Harriet Brown who are on top.
Lizzie Wellborn, of course, a great day yesterday, Josh, coming in second there, and right amongst it here as we get underway. And I love the response, as we said, Georgia Miller, Harriet Brown making a statement there in that first race after, you know, results that would have challenged them yesterday, right back at the front of the pack from some of the biggest names in the sport.
You back these girls into a corner and they're going to attack. That is the only guarantee here. They know Lana Rogers is the benchmark, but they are not going to give her an inch from here on out. And it's all the Northcliffe girls there. Rogers from Alexandra Headland in 1, and then it's Northcliffe in 2, 3 and 4 with Miller, Harriet Brown, McKenzie. Newport's Lizzie Wellborn, they're just working her way up on the yellow board on the inside, and it's side by side, stroke for stroke, these two, and they know first around the cans, first shot at these runners, those runners turn into waves, waves turn into gaps, gaps turn into points, and points turn into a win here. Off and away we see Harriet Brown has picked one up on the inside. Fantastic for her. Lana Rogers went to the left or the top of the screen in the last race on the board, and we saw how much of a difference that makes. We'll see if the rest of the girls follow suit this time, but Rogers has gone there again. Tiani Massey out the back in the orange. The Wildcards picked one up, but it's not enough. Wellborn on the front. She's one of the best board paddlers you have ever seen. As a 16-year-old, finished second in the open board race at the Australian Championships. She is a superstar of board paddling. And at the last World Championships in Molokai, this is 1 and 2 on our screen. Harriet Brown finished 1, Lizzie Wellborn finished 2. They're best mates, but they race very, very hard, and they are out in front at the moment. You can see the coaches and handlers there telling them how far to go. Harriet Brown's up, Lizzie Wellborn's up, and they will go into the swim leg in front. Lana Rogers in third, just hitting the sand now, but the gap, well, they've opened a little gap, and this is the first time we've seen Lana Rogers be put under pressure all series long.
And this is the X factor that comes with today as Rogers hits the sand there. These waves have significantly changed. The surf skills there from Wellborn and Brown, top shelf, exquisite. That gained them 100 metres. That is a massive break.
Unbelievable there. Miller goes around in 4th. That's Danielle McKenzie in 5. Tiani Massey in the orange in 6. Maddie Spencer, great paddle for her in 7. Brielle Cooper in 8 there. 9's Gemma Smith, number 7. Up comes Hannah Scully in 8. Then Taylor Halliday works her way through. Emma Woods, the two teammates there from Alexandra Headland. Scott Corrin, Hancock there. Jade Jade Hardstaff works her way through. Electra Outram is on the tail, and they're well over 40 seconds behind our leaders as they go through the arch, and you can see how far they're strung out already. Electra Outram in the orange is in 20th place.
So big moves being made here on Kingscliff Beach. We'll bring you the rest of the action right after this. Nutri-Grain IronWoman in the water right now. Josh Minogue backing up with just 24 hours from the Enduro Surf. We're into the super sprint and it is on like Donkey Kong.
A little bit of drama while we were away at the break as well. The girls swam a little bit off course there, and that's allowed Lana Rogers and Georgia Miller to get back on, and Harriet Brown and Lizzie Wellborn have just opened the door ever so slightly as Rogers takes the lead. She takes the inside line and not afraid to get, well, physical with the other girls there. Elbows are out and push and shove, and they say if you can't take space, you make space, and she's done exactly that as she goes around. Tiani Massey around in fifth there. She leads the rest of the pack as the field's starting to swim through, and the swimmers, they're getting their work in at the moment because this is, well, it's the shortest of the legs time-wise, but you can make the most difference up here. You can really go from the back of the pack to the front if you've got a magic swim leg, but I don't know if you can catch our leaders at the moment. It's Rogers at the top of the screen there looking very, very strong. Lizzie Wellborn in alongside her, Harriet Brown and Georgia Miller doing their best. Miller closest to us. She's a former Australian junior swim team member. The 4x100 freestyle relay. We're talking she swam against the likes of Kate Campbell. That sort of level of swimming here. So she swims very, very good, but it was a long time ago. She's now a surf swimmer. It's a little bit tougher, a little bit harder, but she is as good as it gets when it comes to the water there. And Lana Rogers and her have just closed this gap on our two leaders. And as a little wave stands up out the back, we'll see if it gives anyone a little push. Oh, it's given Tiani Massey a push. Massey's gone from fifth up into the lead pack, and she has gone all the way up onto the front here. A little run for some of these girls, and as the wind starts to get stronger and stronger throughout the day, we're going to see more of that. These girls are going to get waves from the back. They might catch the leaders. They might go all the way to the beach. It's a bit of a lucky dip today, and Tiani Massey had a ticket to ride in that one.
But you've got to put yourself in the right place. Can the wild card in the orange get the wild card wave? If you're in the right place at the right time, you can put your surf skills to use, Josh. And again, this is the big difference from yesterday. Look at the waves coming. The swell has increased with the tide as well. Here we go.
They stand up. Massey's got another one. So Massey goes down on the right-hand side. She pushes over the top. Miller fell off, and so did Lana Rogers. So Tiani Massey, the wild card, the last two summers, she missed out on being part of the series by one spot. She got a call up as an injury replacement a couple of times. This is the first time she's got a full-time start in the series, and she wants to prove to everyone that the miss from Maroochydore belongs at the top end. She's in one, Miller in two, Brown in three, Wellborn four, and Lana Rogers runs her way back onto five. Wow, Taylor Halliday had a huge swim. She went from 11th up into 6th place on that one. So did Naomi Scott. Maddie Spencer suffered a little bit in that one, but she's very good on the ski. Danny McKenzie heading into her best leg. Emma Woods looking to consolidate on a great leg there. Corrin, Maddie Dunn, Courtney Hancock, Brielle Cooper goes around. Carla Papak, Gemma Smith as well. Electra Outram passed a few in the swim. Emily Doyle, Jade Hardstaff. They're all doing their best to hang on to our lead pack at the moment, who are going away on the ski, and it's Rogers and Miller side by side. This is turning into a grudge match.
And this shore break testing and turning, the turbulence there as they get out through the whitewater, Josh. That's going to be really interesting with this tide moving as well, how that affects things. But the big move, once again, the swap around. The questions were being asked of Lana Rogers. Now comes the reply.
Oh, very, very impressive from Rogers there. She fell off the back of that group when she didn't get the wave. She ran back on, got through the break quicker than everybody else, and that's a skill. Getting onto your ski in a shore break when it's tough is a skill this girl practices week in, week out. And oh, we've got a broken ski here from Electra Outram, or is it a broken paddle? No, lost one there from Olivia Corrin, so she's lost her ski all the way back to the beach. It may look small, very small, but waves like that can smash you. Electra Outram's had a broken paddle. Olivia Corrin lost her ski. It's only 2 foot, but if it hits you in the face, it punches harder than Mike Tyson.
And what we're loving here as well, Josh, the questions that are asked of these other athletes as well, this lead pack, the biggest names we've called over the last few years, the response, the challenge laid out by Rogers over last summer and the first round yesterday, the response is fantastic. Look at them all sitting right there.
Yeah, unbelievable here. These girls aren't letting her have an inch. It's Miller in 2, Wellborn in 3. Harriet Brown just fell off the back. She's in 4. Danielle McKenzie's passed, well, five competitors there to be up into 6th. Great paddle. She's the world downwind ocean ski champion. There is no one better when you turn a can and you're surfing your ski with runners. No one faster than Danielle McKenzie. Expect her to close the gap here. Tiani Massey sitting there. She's dropped 1 spot. And then it is Naomi Scott. Good to have her back after a year of injury last year. She was sick. She had to pull out of the series. Taylor Halliday as well goes around. But Lana Rogers, she won yesterday. She won race 1. She's leading race 2 here as they start to chase these runners home. It'll all be about if you can find a runner and hold it as soon as it turns into a wave, you put the power down. And that is exactly what Lana Rogers has done. Where's Georgia Miller? Harriet Brown's in 3rd in the background. Where is Georgia Miller? Because it'll be side by side from these two girls. They've gone 2 different ways, and it looks like Rogers at the moment has made the most of it. Race 1 winner. If she wins race 2 and goes off first, it's going to be very, very hard to win. There's Miller in the background, so what a choice to go down to the right-hand side from Lana Rogers. She can do no wrong at the moment. Lizzie Wellborn's had a great run as well. She's just coming to screen on the left-hand side, so huge from her. Board, swim, ski was the order. Same result as last time. Lana Rogers, very, very impressive. She'll cruise up and around. Lizzie Wellborn will be very close as well. We'll add the points up, set the standings, but I think Lana Rogers will go off first and she'll have a 2-second gap, and wow, you know she's going to make the most of that one.
So 2 for 2 for Rogers. Wellborn across the line next, Josh. Really critical now where all of these points add up and how you're going to line up in our 3rd and final when we get to that phase, 2 seconds in between everyone.
Have a look at this, up and around. Naomi Scott, that's a great result from her. So Miller was in 5, Scott will be in 6. A great performance. Very, very good. So it looks like Tiani Massey will finish in 6th as well. So another strong performance from her. I wouldn't be surprised if she went off somewhere around 3rd place there. So that's going to be interesting for Massey. Very, very important for her to get off to a good lead. Taylor Halliday crosses, Maddie Spencer crosses there, and Gemma Smith as well.
So let's get down to the sand. Jordan Mercer has got Lizzie Wellborn after a fantastic performance.
One of the best board paddlers in the business, Lizzie Wellborn. What's it going to take to win this handicap final?
It's always the hardest race of the day, and I guess it'll just take the person who wants it the most.
We almost hope it's you, Lizzie. Get out there and show us some action.
Thank you.
Jordan Merson down there on the sand with Lizzie Wellborn. Had a fantastic performance there to really step up and challenge Lana Rogers. We're going to find out if they can catch her. We'll find out. We'll be back in just a moment's time. It's summer here in northern New South Wales. The Nutri-Grain Ironman and IronWoman are in town. It's the super sprint. Josh Minogue, Lana Rogers getting 2 for 2. Let's have a look at how they're going to go off the line in this 3rd race.
2 for 2 means she goes off first. Don't worry about the points. It's all about the order. This is how they'll leave. Rogers in 1, 2 seconds later Wellborn, 2 seconds after that Brown. So on down the page. Miller, McKenzie, Massey, Halliday, Hancock, Woods and Scott. And the guys at the bottom, they're giving up close to 40 seconds on our leaders. Some of these girls can't beat Lana Rogers off a normal start. How do you give somebody 40 seconds head start and then hope that you can get the job done? She is going to be very, very tough to beat. And Torley with swim first, one of her strongest legs, I think that gap's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. We're on the line, set and ready to go. It's first across the line here in race 3. Will we crown our round 2 Nutri-Grain IronWoman champion. Lana Rogers, the winner from yesterday. She won this race last year and she has looked on fire today. Off and away. Swim, ski, board is the order. The girls are away. Brown and Lizzie Wellborn, they were tied on points there. Further 2 seconds back, Georgia Miller goes. Then off Tiani Massey gets away. Taylor Halliday is gone as well. Courtney Hancock, she almost missed it there. Then it looks like Emma Woods will work her way, and the girls are into that swim. And Massey with a big run. Hannah Scully, she is off and away. Carla Patback is next on the line. Brielle Cooper and Emily Doyle are there. Maddie Dunn will be looking for a big performance. In orange, Electra Outram, she snapped her paddle, carbon fibre paddle. Jade Hardstaff is there, and Olivia Corrin, after losing her ski in that race, she is back 40 seconds down on our leaders, and I don't know if you've got a hope from there. She will have to produce the race of her life to not only get back into it, to be any shot of winning this one.
So you've got the big three names, Wellborn, Brown and Miller, all within a couple of seconds here. They've got the skills to do it. Can they do it today? Can they get close enough to Rogers to get in the position where they can get a wave or they can get a bit of luck? Can they catch Rogers?
Well, have a look at this one. They've emptied the tank in this opening swim leg. They know if they can catch Rogers, they've got a chance, but if they let her go, they're no shot at all. So they're going to put everything into this swim and hope they get a few runs on the ski and then on the board and maybe do something. I think Lizzie Wellborn might be the one. If she can hang on in this swim, hang on in the ski, she's the best board paddler in the field, and she might be able to do it. But they're now 2 races down. They've been racing for half an hour already, small gaps in between, and they've got to do it a third time. Do you have enough in the tank, and do you have the skills to get yourself around without making mistakes?
So this is the risk, this is the reward. Is this the moment where they have to be with Rogers?
I think you empty the tank. I think you go all in and you hope that everybody else around you is suffering just as much as you are. If you've got to inflict pain, you've got to be able to take pain, and these girls are going to do their best to inflict pain on the guys around them. So it looks like Miller's already up on the heels of Lana Rogers, and then I guess conversely, maybe Rogers has taken it a little bit easy. Maybe she's let them swim back into it because she knows she'll have plenty left in the tank for that ski leg and the final board leg there. But it is interesting. It starts to close up. A little runner. Rogers gets it. Miller gets it as well. I think Miller will get the most out of it, but only just. Tiani Massey in the orange has been a standout. Not just because we can see her all over the ocean, but she is racing like a seasoned veteran in this top level of competition. And she is pushing it with the big 4, the big 5. She has become one of the big names in surf sports and someone to watch out for in the future. That is for sure. She's 5-6 years younger than some of these girls. She's got a big, bright future ahead of her.
Georgia Miller right there as well, Josh. We saw her yesterday. We mentioned she would have been disappointed, but she is so driven. She is so talented. And you saw the look of steel today across her through the first 2 races. She's right there. If she's good enough right now, she can take this round. Amazing to see the comeback of a champion athlete.
Oh, yeah, and she's won it all as well. She's been Australian champion. She's won the Coolangatta Gold, and of course, she's won the Nutri-Grain IronWoman series, the toughest thing you can do in our sport. And she was devastated last year when she finished second. She wants her title back. She knows she's going to have to go through hell to get it, but she's doing everything right at the moment. And once again, Lana Rogers has gone further to the north, at top of our screen in second place. Miller's just staying to the south at the moment. They both would have talked to their coaches. Lana Rogers with Charlene Kelly and Jack Hansen. Georgia Miller with Naomi Flood, a former series winner herself. They've come down this side, and it looks like they're going to get a wave there for Rogers. Going to get a wave for Miller. Will she push down it? Yes. 1 and 2, and this battle of titans continues. Miller's just a little bit closer to the run transition than Lana Rogers is, and Tiani Massey is up into third. What a swim from her. Harriet Brown in fourth there, so huge from these girls, and a little push and shove as they go around for trouble there.
That.
Lana Rogers making no friends out on the course, and Georgia Miller does not care.
A little statement there to say, no, I'm going to take the lead into the craft. I'm going to take that extra step, burn those couple of steps, a little bit of mental to and fro there. Don't we love that? 2 champions going at it.
Taking the initiative there. Taylor Halliday around in 6th place. 7th there is Danielle McKenzie. Courtney Hancock in 8th. Naomi Scott goes through. She's in 9th place at the moment. So still we can see those gaps have closed up at the front end, but starting to open up down here. Emma Woods, after a 3rd yesterday, is sitting 10th in 10th place at the moment with a little bit of work to do. Oh, Harriet Brown's gone sideways. Harriet Brown might have gone sideways on the shore there, so she got absolutely smashed. Or was that Lizzie Wellborn? But somebody went sideways, and Lana Rogers has just snuck through. Georgia Miller hot on her heels. Oh, has to go up and over that one there. A couple of the girls are starting to get hit by these waves, and as the day goes on, they're going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. It's going to be interesting for the men's, but Lana Rogers, she's opened a gap up there. She was shoulder to shoulder with her competitors. She did the right thing under pressure, and now she's got a gap on Georgia Miller, and I'm shaking my head as well, Adam. I don't know how that's happened, but it is something special.
The surf skills are unbelievable. They went to the craft shoulder to shoulder, and look at this gap now, out to a couple of seconds. Lana Rogers again taking it to the field, making making a huge statement. Come with me if you can.
Technique's fantastic under pressure as well. High hand at the front there, that gets the blade in nice and tight on your side. She's pulling through really well, and it's tough to do when you're this tired. She's now heading into 40 minutes worth of high intensity, heart rate at 180 beats racing, but the ability to keep your composure, keep your technique, let your breathing settle yourself down, that's the difference between these girls. She's fitter, she's faster, and she's more composed, and that is proving the difference race in, race out. She heads to the far can, she'll turn, and that gap, which is now 10 metres, it'll open up to 15, 20, 30 metres if she can get a run here. The rest of the field, they're praying for something at the moment. Georgia Miller goes around, the ratings just a little bit slower there. Taylor Halliday's worked her way into third, Harriet Brown into fourth there, Tiani Massey on the outside, Danielle McKenzie and Lizzie Wellborn must have been smashed in that shore break. She went in third, she's come out seventh, and Lana Rogers, it's like a day at the beach.
She looks so cool, calm and collected, Josh. As you said, the surf skills under pressure. This whole field have got great surf skills. They're amazingly fit and in perfect condition, but her ability to perform under pressure, and again, just getting runner after runner, steering that ski across
sideways.
the ocean.
Whoa, that's the first mistake we've seen from Lana Rogers, and that's interesting there. Maybe that swell's running off the point just a little bit there. It's going from right to left, and the water's really moving around, and that's an uncharacteristic mistake. If she'd have kept running that to the beach, it would have been almost all over Red Rover, but she's just invited Georgia Miller back into it. You can see her coach Charlene Kelly at the bottom there screaming at her, get going, one leg to go. We've done the swim, we've done the ski, it's board time, and Georgia Miller is back in this one. We thought it was over, but there's no way Georgia Miller is going to let her have it easy today. She's going to fight to the death.
So crucial here for Miller to get up, get on the wash here of Rogers, to get close. You can see the effort, the intensity on that run to get up the sand, even though the pain, the burn would have been immense. She knows she's got to get close to Rogers here.
It's a race in two at the moment. One of these two is going to win. Rogers has the advantage. Miller knows she's going to hit this start with everything she's got. Hope that it opens up for her and that Lana Rogers gets hit, but she just sneaks over. Miller's going to get hit. No, she goes over as well. So Mother Nature can be so cruel, and now all Georgia Miller is doing is looking at the tail of Lana Rogers' board. She knows if she can get on there, she might be a chance, but if she can't get to her, as soon as you turn that can, she's going to get runners the whole way home, and the gap's opened up to the rest of the field. Harriet Brown, Tiani Massey, Danny McKenzie, they're 22 seconds down on our leaders. It's a race in 1 and 2 at the moment, but if anyone's going to catch them, it's the likes of Massey and McKenzie and Wellborn. They're chasing. They're great board paddlers, but they've got a hell of a lot of work to do.
And you can just see the lift in the rating there from Miller. She's doubled the energy, doubled the intensity. You can see how hard she is working. She is using everything she's got. She knows she has to catch up to Rogers.
Lana Rogers knows it's a race to the last white can. If she can get around that last white can first, she will win. And that's all she's got to be focused on. Head down, keep the rating up. Don't sit up and rest. Don't lie down. Just keep the work going. And if you can get there, Mother Nature will provide you with something. Georgia Miller on the stomach. She looks tired, but she's fighting. I think the gap's closing. I can't be certain. They take the safety first option around that can, and Lana Rogers will just look over her shoulder and see where she is. And then there's a huge race on for third place. There's 5 girls there fighting it out at the moment, trying to get on that bottom step of the podium there. Miller's around. She looks over her shoulder. Wellborn, Harriet Brown, Tiani Massey, 1, 2, 3. Danny McKenzie's hanging on, as is Taylor Halliday. But Rogers is around. She can see the finish line. She's going for home. Have a look at the crash and bash around this can there. Lizzie Wellborn's up the inside. Massey's in the middle. Brown on the outside. Then it's Halliday and McKenzie there. And I don't think anyone else can get on the podium. But Rogers is starting to look tired for the first time. And maybe Georgia Miller's getting a sniff. I don't know. But she doesn't look as comfortable as she used to. And there's a wave out the back. If Miller can put the power down here, I don't know if it'll be enough. Rogers is getting nothing at the moment. Miller looks spent. And they're looking over their shoulder going, please, 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 I just need something. Get me to the beach, and ask and you shall receive. Rogers gets a run. Miller needs to get down this one. Lizzie Wellborn and Harriet Brown are on one out the back, so if they're not careful, somebody's going to come through this. Oh, they can't get there. Miller's going to get this. Miller's definitely going to get this, but has Rogers done enough? We might need a race up the beach here. They're fighting it out. They've been racing for 40 minutes at this point. Rogers pushing. Thank you so much. She puts her hand in the air. She knows she's won, but she had to do it the hard way. Lana Rogers is on fire, and she will win 2 from 2 to start summer 2020-2021. What a performance from her. She is unstoppable.
Incredible, raising her hands to the sky. She comes through the break.
Lana Rogers is your round 2 winner. She is the super sprint champion there, and she has been unstoppable this summer so far. Unbelievable. Georgia Miller was amazing today, and Danielle McKenzie's come from the clouds. What a performance for her to finish on the podium. Lizzie Wellborn goes up and around, and now it's all about series points. Unbelievable from Lizzie Wellborn to finish in the top 4 there. Great performance, and all these girls will be fighting it out for every point. Harriet Brown, Tiani Massey across the line. Taylor Halliday looked like she was in the mix as well. So what a finish there. That was excitement plus.
On the sand here in Kingscliff Beach, we're going to take a really short break. We'll be right back straight after this. Super sprint here on Kingscliff Beach. It's a bit of rinse and repeat, lining up the sand. Unbelievable and absolutely unstoppable. Once again was Lana Rogers getting the job done. Incredible effort there across the sands. Joshy, she was just so good.
Unbelievable. That's her 9th ever Nutri-Grain IronWoman Series race win. That's the most out of anyone at the moment active. And she's only been in the series realistically 4 years. So every year you're expecting Lana Rogers to win multiple races, and she's just started this race on absolute fire.
Well, we've got her with her toes in the sand. Let's cross down to Jordan Mercer with Lana Rogers.
Phenomenal. Lana, that first transition looked like it was a pivotal moment in that race for you.
Yeah, thank you. I work really hard on my transitions with my IronWoman training. So, yeah, I put everything in that. Again, I took a risk and managed to win that first race, and it just kept flowing. So that was really, really good.
And speaking of flowing, the way you raced in absolute chaos out there, you make it look so effortless. What does it take to do that?
Yeah, you know, we do a lot of training in a northerly wind down at Noosa, and Alex as well. So, yeah, practice makes perfect, I say.
Pretty close to perfect out there today, and you flicked a switch from endurance to sprint. Round 3, what's the plan?
Well, I don't know. Survival's a little bit tricky. You can kind of conserve yourself in the first 2 races, but you just got to make that cut to that final race. So it's exciting, and let's see what comes of it.
Good luck, Lana. Thank you.
Thanks.
Not much else to be said, but just absolutely too good. Josh, she was amazing. There's our final results.
Amazing. Well, she started with a 2-second lead and ended up 7 seconds in front. Lana Rogers, well, a class above. But Georgia Miller, what a way to bounce back. Anyone who writes her off for the overall series, they're kidding themselves, because she is a star. Danny McKenzie, great performance from her. Big comeback in that last leg here. Gets her series back on track. Tiani Massey, want to give her a wrap there. The wild card sitting in tight. 5th yesterday, 6th today. Unbelievable alongside Halliday there. Courtney Hancock, Hannah Scully, good performance to finish inside the top 10. And then the rest of the girls, they're going to try and get themselves further up this overall point score. So 2 wins, 20 points apiece, 40 for Rogers. Then we've got Wellborn, Miller, Brown, Massey, McKenzie, Gemma Smith there was strong, Woods, the young guns, and some of these girls will be expecting more, especially the likes of Brielle Cooper. They're not having the summer she wanted after she was a former series champion in this one. Very tough stuff. If you make any mistakes, you'll be out the back. The boys look like they're on the line, getting set and ready to go.
As we turn our attention to the Nutri-Grain Ironman, we're going to see how that pans out. It's the super sprint, and it's up right after this.